are here again at FinCon X, and we are talking to the wonderful Chris Peach. He just got off the stage doing his big idea, and we are so excited to get some time to speak to him. Thank you so much for coming on.
Glad to be here.
Well, I heard you say in there that you are really passionate about helping people build a budget, save money, and pay off debt.
That's it. That's
Why don't you tell them a little more about yourself?
So yeah, I'm the founder of Money Peach. And my focus is I truly feel that if you can do these three things, if you can create a budget, save more money, and pay off debt, then everything else that comes afterwards is so much easier when you're investing or you're getting into real estate or whatever niche you're thinking of doing, starting a business. But until you have this foundation of creating budget, saving more money, and paying off debt, all those other things become a challenge. So that's where my focus has been, and it changed my life. When I learned how to create a budget, save more money, and pay off debt, we got rid of our debt. We started saving money. We started building wealth, and our life completely changed. But it started with that foundation.
Tell me a little bit more about your story. Did you start with a lot of debt? Like, where did that debt come from?
So in 2011, my wife and I, we had full-time jobs. I was a firefighter. She was a news anchor, and we had a great income. But we had ran out of money. We literally overdrafted our checking accounts. We had been living paycheck to paycheck for years. And we ran out of money to the point where we had $52,000 in consumer debt. We had no money. It was Wednesday. We didn't get paid again until Friday. We fell flat on our faces. And that was the moment that kind of changed everything. It was like, okay, we have to make a change here. We have no money. We're broke. The number 2 cause of divorce in North America is money problems and money fights. We were going to be a statistic.
Yeah.
So at that time, we got on a budget. We learned how to create a budget and stick to it. From there, we learned how to start saving a little bit of money, because at the time we were overspending each month. And then once we started those two things, then we were able to start knocking out this debt, and it revolutionized our lives. I'd never thought of, I didn't know what a blog was, I didn't know what a podcast was, I didn't know what Money Peach, this was never the idea.
Yeah.
My focus was saving our family. And then afterwards, people started asking, hey, what are you doing? And that kind of led into my business.
Now, I know there's some emotional weight that comes when you're in that kind of situation. If somebody else right now was feeling like I'm drowning in debt, what would you tell them?
I've been there. I was drowning in debt too. I remember it distinctly. My wife was at the grocery store, and so at the time we had a 10-month-old, and she was checking out. She had a cart full of groceries. She had just loaded into the grocery cart. She was a television news anchor, so everybody in Phoenix knew who she was. So, she'd been on air for a long time. So it was so embarrassing for her, because she saw, a line full of people that recognized her from television also now recognized her as the lady that can't pay her bills. Because none of our credit cards or debit cards would work at the grocery store. And she just literally picked up our 10-month-old and she left. She ran out of the grocery store and called me. And we were kind of in denial. We knew that the money situation was bad, but it was like, I'll just make more money, or I'll figure it out later. And I remember there was a point where we just couldn't do that anymore, because we had overdrafted. It was Wednesday. Like I said, we didn't get paid again until Friday. And we had lived this facade. And I think a lot of, I always told myself, well, I went to college and we're smart. We deserve this.
Yeah.
And I look back, it's like my wife and I in our 20s were trying to build the same lifestyle that my parents spent 40 years building. And now we were trying to do it all at once, because we have been conditioned to, like, you deserve it. You've earned this. And it's like, I haven't earned anything yet. I earned stupidity, right? That's what I earned, so.
See, now I feel like there's a lot of people, especially during this COVID-19 time, where they might have done all the things right, but then found themselves kind of not having a job, furloughed, or in a difficult situation. I feel like that might have been the same kind of feeling your wife had when she's this public figure, but something is not going right. Like, what would you tell somebody to get through that spell in their life?
So there's a quote that's like, the proof that something can be done is that somebody else has already done it. So I love hearing, I always tell myself that, like, I know I can do this because other people have done it as well. So it's not like it's impossible. So if you're sitting there and you're thinking, I have debt up to my eyeballs, I have no money, I can't save, and it looks so bleak, I promise you're not the first person ever feeling this. And if you're not the first person ever feeling this, that means there's been other people out there that have been successful in getting out of that situation.
Yeah.
And I remember being there thinking, like, there was just no hope. For us, and I don't want anybody else to do this, we literally had to hit as far bottom as rock bottom gets for us to finally wake up. So I would say, don't lose hope, right? As soon as you lose hope, that's when everything ends. Don't lose hope. Just know that, okay, things are not good now, and you don't have to do everything at once. So if it is, okay, I haven't looked at my bank statements in 3 months because I'm afraid, today, if you just looked at them, that's step one, right? You took a step in the right direction. You don't have to go and, sell your house and move out and go move in with your parents and eat top ramen, right? You don't have to do all that at once, but just take a first step.
Okay. And what about some success stories? Because I know in your work you've probably run into a lot of success stories. How have people been changed from the work that you do?
Okay, so the one that probably comes to mind is I was a single mom that we started working with, and it was one of my earlier clients as far as this. And so single mom, she had 2 kids, and they had an exorbitant lifestyle, you know. And at the time, I think we did a blog post on it, but if you added up all of her debt, including her mortgage, she had $315,000 in debt. And she was, at the time, I think a school teacher making right around $40,000 a year. And so she truly felt like there's no hope for me. I have 2 kids. I have $315,000 in total debt, including her mortgage, and I don't make enough money to ever pay this off. And so once she kind of shifted her mind saying, you do make enough money, but not to live this lifestyle. You can still live a great lifestyle.
But just reel it in a little bit.
She was able to sell her house. She downsized. So about 2 years later, she got completely out of debt minus her mortgage. So she was able to flip her life around, and she created a mortgage that fit inside her lifestyle so she could live her life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I'm a big person on paying off debt too. Like I paid off my student loans and now I'm like debt free.
Congrats. How good does it
feel? It's so
feel?
nice. Right? Like it's just freedom. Knowing that I could go anywhere in the world and not have to worry about like, is my mortgage getting paid? It's already there.
Yep.
I will have a place to live. If everything goes wrong, I'll have a place to live. Like that is peace of mind that you can never get back.
The analogy that I use is somebody had asked me, what does it feel like to pay off all your debt? And so I said, for the longest time, we had been walking through life with a backpack with, I always say like a backpack full of rocks or a backpack full of bricks. And we got used to it. It just became normal life. And I remember once we paid off that last debt, I remember we went to our local bank and we had a bank note there and we paid it off. And as soon as she tore off the slip that showed the balance and how much was due, and it said paid in full, $0.00, it felt like somebody came over and just pulled that backpack off my shoulders. And I was like, I didn't know what this would feel like because I didn't realize I had been carrying this backpack for so long.
That weight lifted.
It was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
And I want other people to have that. And I promise you, it is attainable. It might not feel like it, but remember, the proof that something can be done is that somebody else has already done it.
Yes. Now, a couple more questions and I'll let you go because I know you're busy, but you just got off the stage talking about promote. So for those that are new to FinCon, first, what is one big takeaway that you'd want someone to take away from your speech today?
Okay, so yeah, my talk was, in the promotion track, there is, and I'm not knocking these strategies, the Facebook ads, the Google SEO, Pinterest, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, these are great strategies and I use them. They're great strategies. But you got to remember in those strategies, you are playing in somebody else's backyard. What I mean by that is they own the people you're marketing to and they could take it away like that. An algorithm change or maybe your account gets shut down, something like that. So they're great promotional strategies. Don't veer away from there. But I think there's one that is even better. And I think it's great for those who are just starting out. Or if you've been around for 10 years, but really because there's no upfront cost. And that is be a local expert. We live in the world right now because of COVID where, we purposely, I know I do, I go out and I shop local because I want to support local businesses. American Express had this giant campaign where they were giving you cash back if you shopped locally.
Yeah.
So it's like they're kind of making the local the hero, right? The hero of the story. So I thought, why not tap into my local community? I live in Phoenix. There's 1.7, 1.8 million people that live there. And I started thinking, I'm worried about making sure our Facebook ads are reaching all the different parts of the globe. Why aren't I even looking in my backyard? There's local businesses, there's local brands. So what I would say is whatever you are doing for your business, whatever niche you're in, start thinking, okay, the people that I like to serve, where are they shopping? Who do they do business with? Where are they at in my community? And then go find those businesses, go find those brands. So I'll give you a quick example. I teach people how to create a budget, save money, pay off debt.
Yeah.
So if I do those 3 things, I would like to think that the entire world wants my services, but that's just not the case, right? So who wants to create a budget, save more money, and pay off debt? Maybe it's somebody starting a family. Maybe it is somebody opening a checking account or refinancing their house. So where are they doing these things? Well, for me, they're doing it at the local credit union. So what if I go approach the local credit union and they say, hey, I have this idea to partner together good things happen. So I would say start looking in your backyard. There's more opportunity there than you realize.
When you said that, it turned a light bulb for me, because I'm in the Dallas area and I have students that are all over the world, but how many people know about me here in Dallas? So that was super huge for me. I thought that was great.
Good.
And then even your partnership, you were talking about how you got like a recent partnership and they were looking for someone just like you.
And I didn't get to mention this in the talk. I forgot to mention this. And I had a slide for it and everything. But one of the coolest things that happened was during that partnership with the credit union, they were like, Chris, would you be interested if we put your face and your brand name on the 36 billboards we're going to be purchasing across Phoenix?
What?
And I'm like, sure, this would be cool. And it was crazy. I had a picture of it. I was driving down and it said Money Peach and had me on a billboard. And I'm thinking, this is so wild. And again, this was not having to spend a bunch of money on anything. This was just building a relationship with the credit union that I've been going to for 9 years, 10 years.
Isn't it crazy when people bring an opportunity to you, how much further it'll go than when you're trying to like make it happen for yourself?
I've done this in the past, yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So now tell me, what's next for you?
I always tell I love these partnerships that we're doing locally. And so like my goal, I've been saying, is I don't want to be your partner. I want to be your best partner you could ever have. So my number one goal is I'm always consistently trying to see how can I under-promise and over-deliver, right? Basically, how can I over-deliver? I want to keep myself relevant. I want to be so valuable to these local partnerships and these local brands that it's just an ongoing thing. And what I've learned is this, is people out there, at least in Phoenix, what I'm saying is no one is actually doing what they say.
Really?
And so I come into these situations and like one of the credit union we work with, they're like, man, you actually do what you said you were going to do. I'm like, other people aren't doing this?
Right, you're like,
no,
what?
no one, they have this great talk, but they don't follow through. So I will say, if you're willing to follow through, you can really be an all-star.
Wow. Wow. Well, how do people find you? I know you're focusing now local, but if someone's looking for you.
I'm focusing not just local. I mean,
okay.
Local's my fun thing right now. I just love it. But just if you type Money Peach in Google or Money Peach in any of your social media platforms, you'll find me.
Thank you so much for your time.
Of course.
This has been awesome. You have definitely educated me, and I'm sure so many other people have been inspired.
Good. That's what I'm glad.
Thank you.
Good.
I would give you a hug, but I don't know if you take hugs.
Hug, heck yeah. Yeah. Hug.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Chris.
Thank you.